The Gaza Strip, a sliver of land nestled between Israel and Egypt, has long been a crucible of conflict. Home to over 2 million Palestinians, Gaza has witnessed generations of displacement, war, and suffering. Its history is etched in the struggle for Palestinian statehood, a struggle that has left the Strip deeply impoverished and scarred by violence. From the 1967 Six-Day War, when Israel gained control of Gaza, to the rise and rule of Hamas, the territory has been caught in a relentless cycle of violence. Rocket attacks and military incursions have become grim features of daily life, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair. The international community has long sought a solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but peace remains elusive. The question of Gaza's future, of its people and their aspirations, continues to haunt the region and the world. Will Gaza ever know peace? Can the cycle of violence be broken? These questions linger, heavy with the weight of history and the uncertainty of the future. On February 4, 2025, the world watched in astonishment as former President Donald Trump unveiled a radical proposal for the Gaza Strip. Standing alongside former Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Trump declared that the United States would take over Gaza. The announcement sent shockwaves through the international community. Trump's plan was to level and rebuild Gaza, transforming it into a glittering Riviera. The proposal envisioned relocating Gaza's Palestinian population, drawing sharp criticism. Was this a genuine attempt to break the Israeli-Palestinian deadlock, or a recipe for further chaos? Trump's vision for Gaza, as he laid out in his surprise announcement, was nothing short of radical. He proposed a complete overhaul of the war-torn territory, transforming it into a beacon of prosperity and modernity. Central to this vision was the resettlement of nearly 2 million Palestinians. Trump suggested neighboring Arab countries would absorb this population, though he provided no concrete details on how this would be achieved. He argued this was necessary for Gaza's complete reconstruction. The new Gaza would boast skyscrapers, resorts, and a thriving economy. But the scale of the project left many skeptical. Was this vision achievable or just a fantastical dream? The international response to Trump's Gaza proposal was swift and overwhelmingly negative. Leaders, diplomats, and human rights organizations from across the globe condemned the plan, denouncing it as illegal, unrealistic, and deeply harmful to the prospects for peace in the region. Arab nations, including Egypt, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia, were quick to reject any infringement on Palestinian rights, including their right to self-determination. The Palestinian Authority slammed the proposal as a non-starter and a blatant attempt to liquidate the Palestinian cause. The United Nations voiced its deep concern over the plan's potential to violate international law and exacerbate tensions in the region. Human Rights Watch accused Trump of promoting a form of ethnic cleansing, while Amnesty International called for the international community to unequivocally reject the proposal. The chorus of condemnation highlighted the deep unease and skepticism with which Trump's plan was met. It remained to be seen whether the former president, known for his defiance of international norms, would be swayed by this widespread opposition. Section 5. The legal quagmire of Trump's vision. At the heart of the international outcry against Trump's Gaza plan lay serious concerns about its legality under international law. Legal experts and scholars argued that the forced relocation of Gaza's Palestinian population, a cornerstone of Trump's vision, would constitute a blatant violation of their fundamental rights. The Fourth Geneva Convention, a cornerstone of international humanitarian law, explicitly prohibits the forcible transfer of civilians from occupied territory. Moreover, the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court defines such forced transfers as a war crime. The plan's disregard for Palestinian self-determination, enshrined in numerous UN resolutions, further fueled the legal firestorm. The International Court of Justice has repeatedly affirmed the illegality of acquiring territory by force, a principle that directly challenges Israel's continued occupation of Gaza. Trump's proposal, by endorsing and seeking to legitimize this occupation, placed the United States in direct conflict with established international legal norms, raising profound questions about its commitment to the rule of law. As the world debated the legality and feasibility of Trump's Gaza plan, the Palestinians, the very people at the heart of this contentious proposal, found themselves once again pawns in a geopolitical game not of their making. Their voices, their aspirations, their fears seemed lost in the cacophony of international condemnation and speculation. For generations, Palestinians in Gaza have endured the hardships of displacement, poverty, and conflict. The prospect of yet another upheaval, another forced exodus from their homes, filled many with a sense of dread and uncertainty. The trauma of past displacements, etched in the collective memory of the Palestinian people, added a painful layer to the current situation. The Nakba, the mass displacement of Palestinians during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, served as a stark reminder of the human cost of such forced relocations. The question on the minds of many Palestinians was simple yet profound. Would their plight ever end? Would they ever be granted the right to live in peace and dignity, to determine their own future, free from the spectre of conflict and displacement? Trump's bombshell announcement came at a time when the Gaza Strip was experiencing a fragile and uncertain peace. A ceasefire, brokered just weeks earlier on January 15, 2025, had brought a tenuous end to the latest round of fighting between Israel and Hamas. The ceasefire, while welcomed by a war-weary population, did little to address the underlying issues fueling the conflict. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza, exacerbated by years of blockade and recurrent fighting, continued unabated. The return of Israeli hostages held by Hamas, a key sticking point in the ceasefire negotiations, remained unresolved. The spectre of renewed violence, of rockets raining down on Israeli cities and airstrikes pounding Gaza, loomed large. Trump's proposal, with its potential to inflame tensions and provoke a backlash from Hamas and other Palestinian factions, threatened to shatter this already fragile peace. The region, on edge and bracing for further unrest, watched with trepidation as events unfolded. Despite Trump's characteristic confidence in his ability to broker groundbreaking deals, the feasibility of his Gaza plan remained highly questionable. The logistical challenges of relocating millions of people, the astronomical costs of reconstruction, and the deep-seated political complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict presented formidable obstacles. The international condemnation that greeted the plan, far from being a minor setback, posed a significant hurdle. Without the support, or at least the acquiescence of key regional and global actors, Trump's vision was destined to remain just that, a vision. The Palestinian Authority, vehemently opposed to the plan, held considerable sway over any potential resettlement effort. Neighboring Arab states, already grappling with their own internal challenges, seemed unlikely to embrace the burden of absorbing millions of Palestinian refugees. The question of financing loomed large. Would the United States, under a new administration, be willing to foot the bill for Trump's ambitious project? And even if funding could be secured, would it be enough to overcome the deep-seated mistrust and animosity that fueled the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? As the dust settles on Trump's explosive announcement, the future of Gaza remains shrouded in uncertainty. The former president's plan, while audacious and unorthodox, has served as a stark reminder of the urgent need for a just and lasting solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The status quo, with its cycle of violence, humanitarian suffering, and political deadlock, is unsustainable. The people of Gaza, caught in this web of conflict, deserve better. They deserve a future filled with hope, not despair, with opportunity, not deprivation. The path forward, though fraught with challenges, must begin with a renewed commitment to dialogue, diplomacy, and mutual understanding. It requires a recognition of the legitimate aspirations of both Israelis and Palestinians, including the right to security, self-determination, and a life free from fear and oppression. The international community has a moral obligation to play a constructive role in facilitating a just and lasting peace. This requires moving beyond pronouncements of concern and taking concrete actions to address the root causes of the conflict, including the occupation, the settlements, and the denial of Palestinian rights.